Right, so this is a very short introduction to the parts of speech. I'm hoping most of you already know what these are. Some of you will have covered it in like first grade. Some of you won't have covered it at all. So I feel like it's a good idea for me to go back and just refresh or let you know these terms just in case you're not familiar with them. There's a lot more to these than what's in this presentation. We're just doing a really simple overview. This isn't a high-level grammar course, so I don't want to overwhelm you with things that won't be useful to you. So parts of speech are fundamentally understanding the different jobs that words can do in a sentence. And all the words, there's over 1 million of them, in English can be classified into one of 8 parts of speech or groups of jobs. But watch out, a word can function as more than one type of speech depending on how it's used. I, for the life of me, cannot think of a good example right now. This is the 5th time I've restarted this lecture trying to think of a good example of a word that's used in different situations. There's an entire class or subclass of adjectives called verbals, where verbs are used as adjectives. But I cannot think of a good example for you right now, so I'm sorry about that. So first group we're going to talk about are nouns, pronouns, and verbs, and I call these the building blocks. You need some combination of these in every sentence for it to actually be a sentence. A noun is a person, place, thing, or idea. A pronoun is any word that replaces a noun, and pronouns exist because otherwise things would get repetitive. So if we said, Miss Companion is recording this lecture and Miss Companion is having a lot of difficulties and with technology, and Miss Companion is starting to get a little bit frustrated with her computer. Well, saying Miss Companion every time just gets annoying, right? But if we said Miss Companion is recording this lecture and she's frustrated because she's having difficulties with her computer, well, by replacing Miss Companion with she and her, we make the sentence sound a lot better. For most purposes, pronouns and nouns work a lot alike. Because a pronoun replaces a noun, it works much the same way a noun does, and many of the same rules apply. A verb is a word that shows action or a state of being. So is a verb, even though it's not actually showing any action. All sentences must have at least one noun and one verb, and there are special types that every sentence must have. The subject, which is the person or thing doing an action and involved in the state of being, and the predicate verb, which is the state of being or action completed by the subject. So we'll say, the cat ran. Cat is the subject, ran is the verb. But that is a really boring sentence. And so we often need other words to add more detail, right? So adjectives provide more information about nouns and pronouns. Adverbs provide more information about adjectives, adverbs, and verbs. Basically, anything but nouns and pronouns. And you can think of it that way. Adjectives go with nouns and pronouns, which replace nouns. And adverbs go with verbs and any other modifier. So anything that gives more information. Anything that's not a noun or a pronoun. And they're called modifiers because they modify or provide more information about other words in the sentence. So we said the cat ran. Well, we don't really know what cat. We don't know why it's running. But if we said the black cat ran, well, at least now we know what color it is. If we said the old black cat ran, at least we know a little bit more about which cat. We still don't know where it's running to, and we'll talk about that group here. Connectors are words that connect either words together or they connect ideas, phrases, or clauses together. So prepositions express relationships in space or time, and they're part of what's called a prepositional phrase. And a prepositional phrase is a preposition plus a type of noun called an object of the preposition that expresses the relationship between the first thing and the second thing. So if we said the black cat ran after the prey, after is the preposition there, and the prey is the object of the preposition. It's the thing that the cat is running towards. Well, now with the use of that adjective and with that prepositional phrase, we know a lot more than the cat ran. So that's one type of connector, the kind that provides more information. The other type of connector is conjunctions, and conjunctions connect ideas, phrases, or clauses together in a sentence. These are words like and but, sometimes then, while. If I said the cat ran and the dog slept, and would be connecting those two clauses, those two ideas together. If I said the cat and dog ran, and is then connecting the cat and the dog. So it helps us to see relationships between ideas by putting them together. As I said, both prepositions and conjunctions are used to link ideas together, but they're used differently. Prepositions express relationships in space or time. Conjunctions connect ideas, and phrases group them together so that you know which things belong in which box. Interjections. This is a part of speech that we don't use in academic writing very much. But these are interruptions for emphasis, and they interject or interrupt the main thought of the sentence. Or sometimes they come at the beginning, too. I was looking for my pen. Aha! I found it. Aha is the interjection there. It doesn't really fulfill any grammatical purpose. It's just a word that's there for emphasis and voice and tone. You don't really need to worry about those too much. You probably don't use them very often. They're kind of archaic, and they aren't used very much in academic writing. So this may be the only time all semester you hear me talk about interjections. So that's all of the parts of speech. As I said, this is a very short overview of what they are. Hopefully you have a better understanding of those groups of words and the different jobs that they can do. If you still have some questions about it, feel free to let me know. On one version of this class, I did have a bunch of grammatical resources up for this kind of thing, but it ended up just really being overwhelming for students who weren't sure what things they needed to look at and what things they didn't need to look at. And I don't want to put you in that position. I don't want you to have a million links to weed through. So shoot me an email if you feel like you need more information on this. You can also log on to tutor.com. You should have free access. Like you get 5 hours for free, and they're really great. You can go to our writing center if you need more information on this. You can go to ACE. You can email me. I will be happy to talk to you about it. I'll talk about grammar all day long. So whatever, if you feel like you need more help with it, whatever you feel like you need, reach out. Someone will be happy to help you. So that's it for this one. We're going to be talking about some more complicated stuff in sentence basics, which is the next one. So definitely get a cup of coffee or a glass of water or your beverage of choice, and then buckle in for that one.